bad this. They don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in. I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go. Everybody else is like, still the weekend. You fucking go.
Yeah, baby. Happy Monday, everybody. What I call Resurrection Day. That's all about our Resurrection Day from the weekend. If you had a potent weekend, sometimes you take it easy. It don't matter. But happy Monday to everybody. Welcome to Motivation Monday. We about to get into the thick of things and find out how everybody thinks. I know it's the holiday season, so a lot of people got a lot going on. Brother Amir will be chiming in about 10 more minutes, 15 minutes to tops late. So we're gonna start the show, and then he'll just jump on in. You know how he do. He's so dope and deep. It don't even matter. He's gonna bomb. He'll catch up like it ain't nothing. All right. So you see the hat. It's the new Nick hat. We here, and we are here. Amir's not here yet, but subbing in is our super producer, Prophet Pete. Bring yourself in, brother. So I ain't talking to myself.
What's up?
You just gonna come in illegally smoking mad marijuana or whatever.
Yeah.
What you doing, vaping? You vaping?
Yeah, vaping.
Now, ain't that bad for you? Just curious.
That's what they say, but it's supposed to be better than smoking cigarettes.
The first time I remember them saying that, and then years later after research, I heard it might be even worse. You know what I mean? I don't know who the fuck. I don't know. Either way, I don't smoke shit, so y'all just all die. You know what I mean? Like you might die. Somebody might die 6 years short of this. I don't know. It's out of my pay grade. You know what I mean? It's above my pay grade. But anyway, happy Monday to you, brother. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yes.
Anything special?
Nothing special. Just really touching on, my culinary school stuff, getting all that in, putting together the studio out here in Atlanta, and
wow,
and getting ready for I'm back teaching again, so I'm educating the youth on automotive skills and how they can actually better their lives and be able to be better than what they was yesterday.
Well, good for you, man. Proud of you, man. That's a plus. Anytime we're doing something, to help anyone other than ourselves, I'm always a big advocate for that joint right there. I urge everybody to do that. I don't know how many people pay attention to that in their lives, but I do. I take an inventory monthly, sometimes weekly. Did I do anything decent? Did I do anything good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to the dogs like they're real people. Like, I wake up, and my dogs gaze in your eyes. Like, they'll engage you in a real conversation. Even though they can't speak no English, the dog will be your soundboard, like, word. So I look my dogs in the eyes, and I'll be like, yo, man, we blessed. I said, thank God. And be like, we do our thing. We stay out the way, but one time we in the way is when we help being in the way. We don't just jump in the way and, stagnate things up for the negative. We do it for the positive. Well, my weekend was super dope. It started off Thursday because Thursday, your boy got the Red Fox Legacy Award out in Atlanta.
Oh, you was right down the block.
Yeah, I had to go. You ain't see my joint? I thought you see my joint. I post the joint all the time.
Yeah. Well, on Thursday, I'm at work 13 hours on Thursday.
Oh, okay. That you probably couldn't make it anyway. Yeah, I was out there at the Comedy Theater, Atlanta Comedy Theater. Shout out to George Wallace. Shout out to Rip Michaels. Zoo Man was in the building. Shout out to my girl Kiana Dancy holding it down with the hosting job that night, all night long. I met a young female comedian out of Alabama. She's supposed to be coming to New York. Kelly Kells came out. Timo, my man from Goody Mob.
Yeah.
Timo Goody. Timo was the guy who presented me my award. And to hear him say, that's crazy. To hear him say I was inspiring to him was like, that's like, because you don't think about those things. That's just, it's out of the box, it's out of the realm. So Goody Mob wouldn't be on my radar as me being inspiring to them. You know what I mean? Anyone. So that was dope. So that kind of was the feeling and the energy of the whole weekend. You know what I mean? So I left. I finally got back home Friday. Had to do a lot of running around. Then I had to go at a show Saturday. the hell was that? Like Terrytown or something, like, little, not far from the crib, but the weekend was good. I got to a good weekend with me is anytime I get to, I mean, work is good, don't get me wrong, but I'm a stimulant of conversation, right? I love good conversation. So over the weekend, I had a nice amount of time to come and, sip and drink with my good close friends and my clique and like, watch some football, watch the net. We watch a lot of sports, this weekend. Like even when I get done with this, I catch my Monday Night Football. But yeah, we had a good time. So it was a great weekend. I hope you guys out there had a great weekend as well. Shout out to our home team, Drusilla, Alfreda, Miss Pink, Tiance, all of our usual suspects on here, man, that come through. I know I can't get them all, but, Rich, Betty's son, Rich. Thank you all for being here. We're here to inspire, man, motivation. Our theme for the next few weeks, all this month, is the holidays. And then that last one before we break into the new year, we'll obviously talk about the new year, but the holidays, whether you Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, a couple of things that I don't know about. Like I done dealt with all religions in the comedy world. I did a show for damn. I don't want to mess the names up, but they don't celebrate Christmas, and Thanksgiving. They party on those days. Like they do big concert events and everything. And I'm like, wow, the Israelites, you know what I mean? And them cats, once you learn their ways and what they do and what they believe in, it's kind of very interesting. So happy holidays to everybody, no matter how you do it and what you celebrate. First and foremost, I want everybody to be careful across the country, east to west, or I should say west to east. Over the next week, there's this big storm hitting. I don't know if you've seen this. And it's going to start west and come all the way coast to coast, but it's top to bottom, on the west coast first. And it's like a 7 to 10 day event. And about 15 states are going to, like coming across, are going to get whacked. And so everybody be careful, check your weather listings, see if you're part of that. I'm not going to go as deep as to give all that out, but I'm going to give you the heads up so you can do your due diligence and make sure if you're on the West Coast or the Midwest, just check the flow of the storm, because anytime you have a storm that's lasting that long, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? That joint just traveling. You know what I mean? You know how much that is in the airfare? That fucking storm is coming first class. You understand me? Watch yourself, people. Watch yourself out there. So happy holidays. Here's what I want to kick off first, because it was very interesting. I went to the movies this weekend. I had a chance to go see that new movie, that Christmas movie that dropped called Violent Night. You see the previews for that?
Nah, I haven't seen the preview. I didn't even know that it was out. So
they describe it like they say Home Alone meets Die Hard, right? Which is a really good description when you see this movie. But it's called Violent Night, like Silent Night, but Violent Night, where Santa Claus is tearing shit up. You got to save the day, whatever. Like Bruce Willis and Die Hard. So this is very cool. Shout out to the villain in this. Happens to be John Leguizamo, who does an excellent job as a villain. If you told me and I didn't see it, I'd be like, I don't know about it. But seeing it, I'm like, yo, this dude was a funny, good, evil ass villain. I like it. But the movie made me think, because in this movie, this is not really giving nothing away. But what I found that stood out most interesting early in the movie is you learn that this is the real Santa Claus, right? I know. See, you laugh. As soon as I say it, he just laughed at me. Son. Yo. But that's what makes it interesting, because everybody feel like you just reacted. That's how everybody, like if somebody came to you and told you about the real Santa Claus, you're going to laugh like, ain't no Santa Claus, right?
What are you talking about?
Right. So that's funny, because remember I told you that's when you see this movie, it's just a laughing theme throughout because of that. But long story short, he is the real Santa Claus. And it made me think, we grew up all these Christmases as a little kid, and they tell you Santa, 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 and for a while as a kid, until you get to that point, you believe it's to be true. You don't really look at all your kids, so you're not putting all the tangibles together. Like, I don't have a chimney. Everybody don't have a chimney. So but you're not putting all this shit together because you're a kid. My thing is this: you got kids, Pete?
I got enough of them. Yes, I got 3.
How old are they?
26, 21, and 14.
Okay, so you got one still little, but you got the 20. So, were you one of these parents? Now, my question is: did you bring your kids up believing in Santa Claus because it was fun and it was a joyful thing to do? And then, if you did, when did you or they find out it wasn't, them buying the gifts, it was you getting the gifts?
I would say I did it when they were like, probably until up maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. And I was like, oh, Santa this, Santa that, the tree. Oh, Santa came. Then I was like, you know what? This is too much work. I'm eating cookies in the middle of the morning. We put the cookies in the milk out. I gotta make sure I do all that stuff. I'm like, yo, they ain't no Santa. Santa me, right? It's just that's it. This is what we doing right now. And that's just the way it worked.
First of all, you was doing too much. You gonna put the cookie out and eat the cookie. You doing way too fucking much. Then you said Santa put your tree up.
Like for real, like it's just like poof.
Hold up. First of all, it's a dead giveaway that Santa ain't real. If you tell your kids Santa put the tree up, Santa ain't got that fucking kind of time to be putting your tree up. Santa got shit to do, man. It's mad houses. It's mad kids in these toys.
but it made the kids feel special at the time in the moment. Like, yo, Santa did all this? Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. It's the first time I heard this shit in my life. I heard a Santa do a lot of shit, man, but you took it too far.
I was trying to let the kids know that Santa loved them.
Santa put the tree. That's funny as fuck. So here's my thing. So, and I get it. So you said to about 7, 8 years old is where you say, okay, you know what? Now, how did it come to be? When you came out of that phase, right? Was it the kids pressuring you, or was it you just, you know what, fuck this?
I think it was more the kids was like, well, Santa know what I want, but Santa didn't get me this. And I was like, Santa don't got my check. Santa, if you didn't tell me, because Santa's supposed to know. Right? Guess what? I'm Santa. That's it.
Yo, I can't believe. Yeah, see, you did the shit with an attitude, bro.
I did.
You got tired of that shit. I knew it. See, a lot of parents, I don't know any parent that has went and just approached the child and said, okay, let me sit you down. And you know how you tell somebody a death in the family?
Yeah.
You sit down, I got to tell you something. I don't know no parents that sit there and did it on their own. Something had to happen where you go, you know what? I can't do it no more. Like, I got to tell this kid, or you're frustrated because maybe, I know some people, some relatives of mine down south, I remember years back, they did it because they had lost their jobs. There's one of those factory things where everybody worked at the factory, and then the factory, when it folded, you got all these people at work. And the timing of it was horrible, right? So the timing of it was end of November, some shit like that, middle or end of November or beginning of December, where now they're scrambling, obviously, before your rent and all that stuff. At the same time, you're like, holy shit, like Christmas is coming. And I remember my cousins, these are my like third cousins where they older than me. And I remember them sitting the kids down. It was like 4 young kids. And the oldest one had new, but still, it was one of those unsaid things. And they just, said it as diplomatically and matter-of-factly as they possibly can. And I remember the oldest was like, yeah, I already knew that shit, right? And he was like, but why are you telling us that? And it was like, because we lost our jobs. You know what I mean? I want to say, Amir, what up? Yo. Yeah.
Yeah. You ready to go?
Are we on? I sent you the link. You got it?
Okay. All right.
Just click it.
I'm jumping on that.
All right. Yeah, that's Amir. So the oldest one was like trying to understand like why, like out of the blue, and they explained it like, listen, mommy and daddy are now unemployed, and before we have y'all run around here heartbroken on some fictitious shit, let us tell you what it really is, so we can sit down here and really, and really what it was is to get them to be as realistic as possible with their Christmas, and let me see if we can do it. Let's see if it can happen. Like, because if it's Santa, kids just you say a lot of shit because it's Santa. You're not thinking about price tags. You're not thinking about how far sit your parents back and all that. You're not thinking about it because it ain't your parents, and your brain is magically gonna come, and you was a good person, and it was gonna be under the tree. So I remember that. But other than that, like, people don't really just come out the blue. Something happens to bring them to that point. Thank God with me, I think inner city people have it a little easier because these badass kids catch on quick. You ain't even got to do nothing. These badass kids be on it. This kid will come in your house 6 years old. Ain't no fucking Santa Claus. I'm like, yo, don't do that.
For real.
You're not even checking him. He cursed. You checking him that he doubted Santa.
That he doubted Santa.
Don't do that. Don't do it. You curse outside, but don't do that shit. Amir just coming in. Welcome home, Amir. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you.
Just to catch you up, we're talking about. I went to see that movie, Violent Night.
Okay.
And the guy who played the Santa Claus in there that ends up being the hero or whatever, he's actually Santa Claus. So that's the twist in this shit. The dopeness is he looked like any other Santa Claus in the street, just doing whatever. But this motherfucker he's really Santa Claus, but he's kind of tired of the job. The motherfucker in the bar, all type of shit. So I said, damn, that made me think about, because we theming it out around the Christmas time. I'm like, as a parent with kids, when your kids was little, I just asked Pete, when your kids were little, Mir, how long did you have them believe in Santa, if any? And then when did it break off, and how did it break off, the belief in Santa?
You know what? That's a good question, T. I don't know if I gotta ask Amir. I don't know if she ever believed in Santa Claus, to be honest with you. Just to keep it 1,000.
Let me catch you up to this guy here before you finish. This guy's off the fucking meat rack, yo. This dude, not only did he have his kids believing in Santa, this motherfucker was doing too much. He said, man, I was putting the cookies out and then getting up early in the morning, eating the cookies like Santa was there. Then he told the kids Santa put up his fucking tree. How the balls on this guy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Go ahead, Amir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So I'd have to ask Amira and my youngest daughter, Alana. I don't know if she's ever believed in Santa Claus either, because she's part of this newest generation where they give you that Christmas list and it'd be like 1 million things on there, and then you gotta shut them down and be like, you're gonna get 2 off of the 17 that you asked for, just so we're clear, we understand each other. So that's a great question, but y'all are absolutely right. It's funny how times change and how traditions change, and how seemingly now a lot of the things that we grew up on that were so sacred to us and had some special meaning, now like, nah, we don't believe you. You need more people. We're using that train of thought for everything now. Like, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I do think that there, at this time of year, it is just, I think it behooves us all to buy into the love and energy of what the seasons of, the holiday season is supposed to be. And I think if you can, kind of at least get your kids to understand that, as well as the adults, I think we'll be fine. But it is interesting how, like I said, times just change. A lot of things that we grew up on that, was so sacred to us, now we'd be like, even, the holiday itself, having become as commercialized as it has. Because, you think about it, like I said, come up from, and I know the three of us and most of our listeners are in the same generation and era. But if you remember when we did certain things, again, you made your little list and you were just happy if anything on the list kind of showed up, or something that even wasn't on the list. You was like, this wasn't even on the list. I'm going to take that and, be happy. These kids, wait a minute, that wasn't on my list. You know what? If you don't sit your little, I'm sorry, that's a whole nother conversation for another time.
No, that's like I remember like, and it's funny because it's like I don't know, it's very cultish. Like the way that we would pass that torch, right? Like as the kids got older, but it was still some young ones. You would go out your way, like don't do that. Don't tell them it's not Santa Claus, And I think it feels different. Like I said, when reality kicked in, I was just telling a story about my cousins down south where they worked at one of the plants where damn near the whole town worked for the plant, and the plant shut down. And it happened around the holidays. And because they knew the checks wasn't coming in anymore, so what was coming in they had to use towards rent and the essentials, and now they worry about the holidays. So they sat the whole four kids down and kind of slowly broke it to them. Listen, Christmas may be blah blah blah, and and then I guess in the midst of that, the oldest one, 14, I guess, knew, so they wasn't really shook. But the three younger ones, somebody goes, "Well, what they gonna do with Santa?" It was like, "Oh, all right, so we got to go deeper with this explanation," and that's how they learn. Me myself, I can't remember. I can't remember if I think I just put things together eventually, like piece by piece, and and like a black parent, I think I learned because black parents sometimes when you talking anything that's gonna cost anything, sometimes that attitude shift on you, let you know that this motherfucker's paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say, I'm gonna tell Santa get me a green machine, and your mother go, what? You be like, oh, this bitch, you acting like you buying it. You like, just buying it. So that's how it was with my family and everything. But here's the thing about this movie, made me think about it because in this movie, the guy is really Santa, right? So they're looking at him like, whatever bullshit. But this motherfucker's real Santa. You got the reindeer, you got the fucking sled, you got the magic bag. That's the funniest thing I like. Because I don't know about you guys growing up, I pick everything apart. Like, how he gonna have his bag and fit all these toys for the whole world? Really? Like the whole world. But in the movie, the shit is so dope that the bag's a magic bag, right? So it don't look full, but it don't matter because it's magic. So whenever he put his hand in there, he pulls out what the person asked for, the kid thinks about. So that part was dope. I urge everybody to go see it. Violent Night is dope and funny and entertaining, and it stands right up to the label because when you look at the preview and the commercial, it goes Home Alone meets Die Hard. It lives up to that shit. It lives all the way up to that shit. So take your time, go see that. Once again, welcome out to our regular Motivation Monday. We welcome our boy Amir back. You got to tell us about your weekend, man. Was it a good one?
Yes, it was a great weekend, man. I had the opportunity to bounce down to Atlanta, take care of some business stuff down there in the ATL. The weather was crappy, but I got a chance to get around and move around a little bit within the city, and just get out
You
of
must
NY
have got
a
in there
little
after I left.
Right after you left, T. I swear to God, I touched down Friday.
Oh shit!
And I was there until Monday, until today. But like I said, just a good time, man. Some of my other businesses, or one of the other businesses I'm working on, we had a huge convention, and what was dope, and it's funny because I think it just adds to our motivational Monday. I've never seen leaders so petty, but in a fun way, because in theory, everybody is jockeying for positions of who's the best in the company. And this young lady in particular, she had been like the number one, income earner for the company for quite some time. And she dropped to number 3. So they had to do a training. And during the whole training, she kept on slipping in. I got to get back to the number 1 slot. And it was just hilarious to see, how even though, she's, like I said, one of the top 3 income earners in the entire company, right, and making over $1 million, she was like, nah, I don't like being at number 3. And I just thought to myself, you and I, and I'm sure Prophet is probably as well, we sports dudes. So it's always interesting to see how people utilize the energy of being in a sport in a different version, of competition. Right. And to see the competition and camaraderie amongst them, I thought was really, really dope. So for those of you who are super petty going into the holidays, because some of y'all are, well, I'm going to be that uncle or that aunt that buys all the dope toys. Kudos to you. Stay the course, as T like to say. Stay the course. I'm really I'm looking forward to hearing those cool stories. Uncle such and such came. He bought me the PS3. Yeah, but then Aunt such and such came. She bought me a new car. Really? So the level of petty goes up 1,000. So
No,
that's
I
kind
know
of
that's
funny,
right.
and I thought I thought that was cool. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Like I said, I'm back here in NY, and everything is great, man. So thanks for letting me share that.
No doubt. Speaking of sports, and I was going to bring this up at some point in the show, so it's a perfect segue. If nobody watched the Jet game, now I know I'm a Jet fan, and I'm not bringing it up because of that, but if there's a point in there, if you got to watch football this weekend, shout out to Trina again, Buffalo Bills fan, they beat us, whatever. Alfred, all the Buffalo Bills, Rochester, fuck y'all, all y'all, with affection. No, but the point that stood out in there is this is the energy that people need to ride out for their family and friends.
Yes.
I looked at Mike White, right? Now, Mike White taught me a very valuable lesson. Two things I heard this weekend. And the one thing is watching this game. Now, people that don't watch it, let me describe. Mike White is our quarterback at the moment. And this dude played this game, and then it started to snow, and the weather was bad, and the wind and all that. But we're known for the number one defense in the league, so you're not going to score a lot of points against the Jets. You need luck when you. And this game is going on; it's low scoring, whatever. And somewhere early in the game, maybe at first or second quarter, he gets hit really bad, and midsection to the point where he got to leave the game, and you don't know what's going to happen. He comes back out there in the game. Late in the game, he gets hit even worse. I mean, Pete, I'm waiting for the report tonight or tomorrow morning that maybe his ribs are broke that bad. And he's going to miss a couple of games with fractured ribs. That's how bad he got. But the dude came out of that damn tunnel and took the floor again, took the field again, if you will, hurt and everything, and laid it all out there for his team. I looked at that and I was like, immediately thought of everyone has a team, whether your team is your family, whether your team is your tight friends, whether your team is the people you work with. Everybody got a team. And that, to me, is the epitome of what locking in with your team is. I believe in my team. I'm locking in. Yeah, we might get smashed in the face. Let's get up. Go right back in there. Might get knocked down. Get up. Go right back in there. I'm saying that because that's a part of motivation that people never talk about. How hard we go for each other. We spend a lot of time, even on this show, we try to motivate and empower from within, because a lot of people, you know how they say you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even in a plane, they put your fucking mask on first. Yeah, there's a little kid, okay, but put your shit on first, because if you take too long and pass out, you're going to kill both of y'all. Like, you can't help nobody until you help yourself. So we spend a lot of time in trying to empower from within. But what happens when you get that power from within? Are you going to use that to go hard for you and yours? Are you going hard for you and yours? Like, you got to go hard for you and yours. And I'm looking at him, and I do that a lot. Like, I'm looking at one thing, but that shit's translating in real life time. Like, and I'm looking at this dude, like, he don't have to do that. You got Joe Flacco, old bum ass on the bench, that is coming in and run the reps. Yeah, you heard me, bum ass, because he came in from the time when he got hurt and had to walk into the tunnel, just that fast. Joe Flacco touched the ball and fucking fumbled. As soon as he touched it, he fumbled the ball. This is how we fucking lost this game. But it's neither here nor there. I'm not in my feelings. Anyway, but when you look at the resiliency that Mike White is displaying, now, I mean, granted, I look at it in two ways. Some people are just like that they really care about when they sign on for something, they really care about giving their all. They really care no matter what. I mean, they probably don't even like half the people around them, but I said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this shit, right? And then you have the situation where this guy is fighting for his career too. You know what I mean? I got lucky to get into this starting spot. Things are going pretty well for me. Yeah, we lost overall, but I'm not the problem. You can see that I got what we need. And then you have this game. This was the third game. And then you have the third game. He's out there. He's taking these fucking hits. And I'm telling you, the way he went down in that second one and trying to breathe, obviously the wind got knocked out of him. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised. Fractured, cracked ribs, something like that. But that was me looking at people. And it made me think, because imagine yourself in a Jet uniform, right, when this happens. But in real life, look around and like who's going hard for me?
You know what's so crazy, T? And I think that, you know, you bring up such a valid point, especially to close this, you know, close the year. You know, as part of our, like you said, our closing ideologies. The funny thing about that is I experienced the same thing again at this, you know, business thing that I was at this weekend. You know, stories, they say, you know, stories sell, but they had this one young lady who described the incident that happened to her in particular in her business. She lost a number of business partners and everything, but she could have given up. And she said she had to look within her organization, to the point that you just made, whether you're in organizations, whether you're at your job, whether it's your family. Sometimes you got to take stock of who's really, really on your team. I know we don't think about it. T is right. We don't think about it until sometimes we're in the most dire situations. But a lot of times you need to really take stock of the people who really have your back no matter what. And that includes everything from the people who check in on you, to the people who cheer for you, the people who pour into you, and all of these nefarious things that are huge in terms of your not only development, but in terms of your overall standard of how you're going to move forward. Now, don't get me wrong, because some of y'all love to use the word haters. You know, doing this for my haters. You do need them. I saw DJ Chuck Chillout put up a perfect meme today. He said, hey, or it was either him or Red Alert, I forget, one of the two. But they said, don't get rid of all your haters. You need to have a few of them so they can report back to the team. You got to keep a couple of them around just so they can report back. Hey, they not down yet. They still hanging in there. You goddamn right, because you tried to take me down. You didn't believe in, you know, what I was trying to do, and or you just don't think that, you know, I'm capable. And that's okay, because here's the bottom line to the perfect point that Talon made. Sometimes you got to dig deep within self to not only show yourself how bad you are, but then show the rest of the world, because that's when people start taking notice. They're like, wait a minute, I wasn't really on board yet. I wasn't sure. I thought that this person or that person isn't this, that, or the third. But once they really see that you locked in, they like, all right, I'm gonna have to really focus and pay attention. And I think that, like I said, as you close this year, please do yourself a favor. You ain't got to cut people off. I, you know, keep telling people that too. You don't got to cut people off. All you got to do is keep elevating. The people who can't, you know, breathe in that rare air, trust me, they'll pass out and fall off all by themselves. You know, you don't even have to worry about it. I know some of y'all, this is the time I start cutting people off. Just keep elevating. I don't know how to move in this circle. Okay, well, go sit down over there. I'll see you when I come back downstairs. You don't want to move up to the upper echelon, to the upper floors. You don't want to do the things that are going to elevate you and elevate me and all that stuff. No problem. But I'm going to leave you right here because I got other things to do. I have bigger dreams. I have better goals. This is that time of year where you reassess any and all of those things, as well as your processes and the ways that you and the things that you utilize to get you to this point where we stand right now. Go back over those things. How many things on your list did you really check off this year that you said at the beginning of last year or whenever, you know, this is what I'm gonna do with the year, blah, 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 blah. Y'all gotta really take stock. It is so imperative for motivating yourself, but then for also motivating the people around you. Around here in this world, for whatever reason, we don't believe people until we see them do it. Never mind how much we could help them along the way. And this goes for everybody. So I'm not picking on anybody, because some of y'all I see, for instance, you know, Talon's having his shows, whether they're in your city or not, y'all repost them. Hey, Talon's gonna be in our city, blah, blah, blah. That's what you do when you believe in people. That's how you show you care. That's how you show you're part of the team. Everything doesn't always have to be about you per se. And too many of us are walking around and have this idea that everything is about us. Well, you didn't hit me back. You didn't put me on the list. This, nobody talked to me about this. Everything's not about you. Sometimes you got to buy into and help others. You know, the greatest way for any and all of us to get the things we want out of life? Help others. I know that sounds so far-fetched, but believe it or not, the more you help others, the more you'll see the things that you want to see come to fruition start coming to fruition. It's just that simple. But so many of you want to convolute it. It didn't come right back. I put this up and then this person didn't do this or they didn't. Stop. If you can, and this is something big, and I mean this, please, if you don't take nothing else from this, segue, if you can't give from your heart, and I mean this, then don't give. Doesn't make you a bad person, but if it's not coming from a place of love, it's not coming from your heart.
It's
do
bad
it.
anyway. It's the equivalent. You're right. If you can't give from your heart, then don't do it. Quick get well shout out to weatherman of extraordinaire Al Roker. That's
wow.
I've cracked a lot of Al Roker jokes in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and for the first time, this is me being serious. Like, I'm glad he's making a recovery. For those who don't know, Al done had a bunch of surgeries from gastric to the bypass shit. But this latest thing, he had a blood clot in his leg that traveled up to the lungs.
Oh wow.
So he had surgery to take care of that. There was some complication issues that kind of knocked that off balance. But according to himself in his own words, giving his own update, he's finally in rehab now, making a comeback. He's out of the hospital, but he's not ready to go back to Good Morning. To Today's Show, whatever. But him and his wife, both two different statements. He's finally on the right course where they wanted him to be. Even though he had those complications and everything. So shout out to Al Roker, weatherman extraordinaire. I think he's probably the biggest weatherman in the country of all time. I think if you think about it, Al Roker. So get well soon, my brother, so you can get back to doing an excellent job. I miss your bobblehead. You know what I'm saying? Get back to us. I had to. So, okay, so now to piggyback off of what Amir said, and about 10 minutes away, people from the Jewel of the Day, you're right. We're getting to that point where I think we get complacent. I think that's the word I want to use here. We get so complacent and where we are friend stock wise that we don't take inventory. We just roll it over. You know what I mean? Like, and the funny thing is, that's one of the very few things we do that in. We don't do that shit with money. You count your money I don't know about you. When I come in the house, if I got some cash on me, I count that shit every time I come in the house. I've never went to bed without counting whatever cash I take out my pocket. Even though we don't use a lot of cash like we used to, I still like to have, if I can, a few dollars, because who the fuck wants to bring a card out for every little thing that you encounter in the course of your day, your week? Like, I'm tipping the gas station dude in Jersey. I'm tipping the bellhop help me at the hotel. I'm tipping the girl at the, you know what I mean? Like, so some of that shit, you can just sign it and put the tip in there and keep it moving. And then some of that shit is so random and sporadic, you're going to need a few dollars of cash in it. Now, my personal opinion, I don't really like tipping when I use the card, because I've seen a few places, I don't mention no names, but a few places take that money and the people really don't get that money.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if you people are aware of that. I'm going to say it again. A few places you think you're tipping, but the person doesn't actually get all the tip or even the tip in general. I found that shit out with Domino's delivery, how they was taking more than half their money, because when you call Domino's, they charge you, they say free delivery, but they charge you a delivery fee and the original price. So I remember, like, that's supposed to go to the delivery person. That's why the fee is charged. Somebody got delivered. And then you're going to tip
on top of that.
So if the delivery fee is $4.99, then I give you a $5 tip for bringing me my pizza, and it's total $10. But the delivery person don't get that. They might get the $5 you gave them. That's only because you had cash, and they may get $2 off of that thing if they're lucky. Dude, I found out even, let's say something like, now I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to carry more cash because now I'm going to start doing that with my Uber drivers.
Gotcha.
I'm going to start giving tips from cash because I heard, I ain't hear
They're
it
not
in,
getting that.
they
Wow.
be getting ripped off by the system.
Wow.
So you can't, so virtually we can't really trust shit, you know? And then every time we put that out there, it's out there. That card, it's funny because I'm, before I get on the show, I'm watching this movie on Netflix called Emily the Criminal. I don't know if y'all seen it yet. And she basically got involved in the fake, they call it dummy shoppers with the fake credit cards. They take the stolen credit card information, make cards, blah, blah, blah. You go shopping, all that stuff. So, you know, that type of shit right there, every time you swipe it, you're in danger of that. Somebody taking your card, your number, blah, blah, blah. It's out there. So the more we do this, the more it's out there. The more we do this, the more it's out there. And I don't know about it. I know that this is technology and this is the way we're going in the world. I'm just not 100% comfortable with it. So I like to have some cash. So why don't we apply the same thing we do with cash? We come in, we want to count our cash. How much I got in my wallet? 27, 34, 85. Well, you like to know in your brain when you go out. Why we don't do that with our friends, the people around us? Why we don't take, and it don't have, and everybody's life is different. You don't have to go by the national chronologic timing of doing it. Oh, okay, it's December 31st. Let me count my friends. Look, they can do that shit in the middle of the week. Every time motherfucker do something crazy, you should sit back and go, hold on one second. Do I need this nigga?
Facts.
I don't need this nigga no more.
Facts.
He's tripping. So I do it all the time. Like, I keep a list. I don't know. I guess I'm the comedian Santa Claus. I keep a list, a mental list of, and this is what I look for, because it's not about you doing nothing for me. It's not about what we can necessarily physically, tangibly do for each other. That's ulterior motive. I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is, I'm actually looking for you being the same person I could count on, whether it's 6 p.m. or 6 a.m., and whether we're in New York or LA. Are you the same motherfucker? If I run into, I know Amir's a good friend because I've seen him here on every coast and corner, and he's the same Amir. But in my line of work, that is such a huge thing, such a value on that, because we work with a lot of people, and Amir knows from being in LA a long time, that we'll see somebody and one essence is all grady, hunky-dory, then you run into them 3 days later, motherfucker act like they don't know you, or y'all ain't cool, or y'all just wasn't, nigga, we was just fucking some porn together.
True story.
You said, I have extra money. I said, yeah, boom. You supposed to pay it back. You didn't, but that's cool. Blah, blah, blah. I thought we was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm just using a fucked up example. I know. But my point is, that's value to me. In my line of work, value is you being the same genuine person that's beneficial to me. And that's all it could be. I don't need $20 every week. I don't need to stay at your house. I don't need to borrow your TV, your phone. I just need you to be genuine, because that energy is what is valuable in my circle.
Yeah. Yo, you know, T, again, you make another valid point, and that's why I said, you know, we have to have our checklist of things that, you know, we look for, to your point, in the people who we call a part of our circle, part of our tribe, you know, whatever terminology you want to use. And I think it is imperative that you find, you know, what those things are that work for you, because I always hear people's loyalty. Oh, it's this, it's that, you know, all these nefarious things again, which is dope. But I always tell people this and caution people with this: the same things that hopefully you're looking for in others, I hope you're providing those same things, because there's a lot of people out here who say they want certain things, but they're not doing it. You can't ask the universe of something when you don't do it yourself. That's a weird way to try to trick the universe. And the universe usually can tell, which is why some of you find yourselves in the positions that you're in, because you think that you're tricking the universe. The universe can see everything. Some of us may get, you know, blinded for a hot second or whatever. Oh, it threw me off. But the universe, it's all around you. So every time you do something that you think the universe didn't take note of, or didn't, you know, do a checks and balance, when you find something odd happening to you, guess what happened? That was the universe evening the score, as they like to say, or at least trying to help you understand, hey, stop the foolishness. So I always just caution people that I know, if you're going to ask for specific things of the universe, of your friends, of your family, then please make sure that you're providing those same things. And here's the thing, you can't fake it. There are too many people who, at this stage of your lives, you think that you're faking stuff. Energy is contagious. Talent touched on something extremely important. Energy is contagious. And to be quite frank with you, energy actually enters the space and or enters a lot of things before you do. So when people feel your energy or they get those vibes, as Alfred alluded to, that's what they're thinking about. Like, wait a minute, something's off about this person. Let me back out of here. Let me get out of here before something goes absolutely left. But when you are in the right energy, you're doing the right vibe. It's so funny, T, that you talked about tipping. The hotel we stayed in was downtown Atlantic Station. By Atlantic Station was the Embassy Suites. Now the hotel itself wasn't as great as it could have been, but that's also because they got new policies, whatever. But the bar, man, we was down there tearing it up. The dude, I think at least 2 nights we drunk, officially drunk, and homeboy charged us nothing. So to your point, I had money on me, so I said, let me just tip my boy. Here you go, it's $40. It was like, yeah, don't worry about it. It was like, son, we was in here drinking. He said, man, the conversation, the fact that y'all, kept the energy right. He said the people who came up, they wanted to rock with y'all or whatever. And I think that, there's something to be said for that. I know a lot of you don't necessarily think that your energy or the way you approach things has plays a big part in the things that are going around you, but it does. T can attest to this because I've been out with that brother many a nights where, just our energy and the synergy that we were in attracted all this other dope stuff that you didn't even see coming. So I just encourage everybody, again, check your energy, check on the people that you got around you. Make sure people aren't sabotaging you, because you have that too. Don't get me wrong. Look, I get it. Smiling in my face, we cool, this, that, third, but you're slowly trying to sabotage me behind my back. And I, again, don't necessarily understand that, because anything and everything that I do or Talent does or P does or, any of the people who are going to watch this and, people who tune in, anything that we do, you can do. It's just you got to make up your mind to do it. So don't be frustrated with me or upset with me because you see me making strides and you're not making it. It just means you're not putting forth the effort and the time and energy, because those things are what allows you to move into the spaces, into the places that you want to and that you need to. So please check yourself, check your surroundings, make sure you've got the right people and the right things going on around you. So that's where you can prosper and get to the places and things that you want out of life.
That's a fact of mundo, man. And you know what motivated me? I was telling Pete before you came in at the beginning of the show, my motivation started like on Thursday when I got to Atlanta and got that award in my hand. It's a whole thing. You got T-Mo from the Goody Mob and presented me with the award. I mean, a few words that he said in the beginning about me inspiring him and all that, and like that was just like very overwhelming. Now I happen to have this shirt on with all the mentor. This is my mentoring shirts. Shout out to my people up there in Harrisburg that do these shirts. But so I had this on with the over the jacket, the blazer type jacket, and the shoes and all that. But I performed for 10, 15 minutes. Then when you said goodnight, they held you out there. The presenter comes out with the award, gives a speech, gives you the award. And I'm basically like, listen, man, that was very motivational, because when you are a certain type of person and you go about your business, like I don't do what I do for these awards. I'm not even thinking about it until I find out I'm getting it. I do what I do genuinely to do what you do, to make change, to make it better, to be good, blah, 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 teach, pass it on, pay it forward, because I have to live in the light that was before me. I was around cats that did that for me. So for me to just take it and be selfish or stingy or act like I can't talk to the young comedian coming behind me, him or her, that need advice or need some information, then I'm wasting what was done for me. It's a cycle. You take it, now you pay it forward. Hopefully, one or two of those cats that you help shape or turn around and do the same thing for somebody else, and so on and so on. And the cycle never ends, and we end up eventually in these better places. But yeah, that's when it started for me and motivated me. So I'm sitting there like, just taking it all in and just listening to guys like even George Wallace, who came up and got his behind me, took a lot of his time and minutes to go back to applaud me. This is his time. He'd bring me back on stage during his time and say good things and blah, 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 and talking, and part of his time and his accepting thing, which was dope. And when people, you got to realize, being a kid that come up and look up to all these people that will eventually be standing side by side with you is fucking amazing, to say the least. To say the least is fucking amazing to be around. I never forget when 1990, I want to say 95, I think. Sunset Park came out in 95. It was just amazing to be like the premiere night, right? I'm in this fucking mall. First of all, it's Magic Johnson's theater. He's there. So I'm side by side with Magic. I'm side by side with Michael Douglas. These are motherfuckers I done spent all of my movie money and time to watching all this shit. Jane Russo, Danny DeVito, John Travolta, Bing Rain, like Samuel J. These are all these people. And now in this moment in time, because of where your endeavors have taken you and your hard work, oh yeah, we all shoulder to shoulder here. We all breaking bread together. You belong here right now, and we're doing this in this moment in time. That feeling is fucking amazing. And like you said, the energy of that you carry over to the next thing. Even when I did radio, like I've always answered this question the same way. People go, "Oh, do you like radio?" I'm like, I don't know if I like radio. I like working with good people and people I can work good with. So I've always been blessed to be in those situations. To 20 something years later, I still don't know if I like radio. Like, can I do this if I'm in a room? Because really, like, some people do this, but be in a room, they don't really care for these people. I don't know if I can get up every morning, go somewhere and work with somebody I don't like or don't care for. But now, if you put me in a room with a bunch of cool motherfuckers and we laughing and giggling, and everybody got good sense of humor and we cool, camaraderie's banging, and yeah. But I've been blessed in those instances. Not necessarily like everybody else who's been thrown in like all types of situations and just got to deal with it, whatever the case may be. I think it's that time to drop a jewel on them, Amir. It is time for the Jewel of the Day by Amir. Let's go. Drop that jewel on him. Sure.
Hey guys, the jewel of the day today is inspired by the story that Talent just shared about how just through perseverance, how through hard work, how through determination, how through being your genuine self. And I underline stars, circles around genuine self. Look, y'all, the world is full of copycats. The world is full of people who borrow. The world is full of situations and things that happen that seem to put us in spaces and in energy sometimes that we don't understand. But the one thing that really doesn't ever change is authenticity and being your genuine self. And if you work diligently at just developing who you are and allowing the world, your tribe, your circle, your group, your followers, whatever terminology you want to use, to find you, you'll find that you then are now part of larger tribes, larger circles, larger groups. The beauty of that is there were people who, to Talent's point, are people who you might have admired, people who you may have always held in high esteem, high regard, people who you thought you may never have the opportunity to even be in the same circle or the same room, but you look up and guess who's sitting next to you, or guess who you may be conversing with. That's just from being genuinely you. So as we close out this year and as we continue to motivate you each and every Monday, I just ask everybody, find your genuine self. Be authentic. Be the person, place, and thing that you want to see in the world, And I promise you, the world will not only mirror it, it'll bring it back tenfold and in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. So again, be you. There's only one you. And what makes that dope is nobody could replicate that. Your parents or whomever brought you here for a reason, you're here to put that stamp on the world. So let your stamp speak for itself. Let your authenticity, let your genuineness, let the fact that you are like nobody else and like nothing else do all of the hard work. And you'll find this place to be a dope, super dope place to be. So again, just be you, y'all.
There you
Jewel
go.
of the day.
Boom. I like that. Pete, you gotta change that shit, man. I told you last week. It's the Jewel of the Week now. I forgot too. Jewel of the Week. We want to make that the Jewel of the Week because Monday is the you know what? Motivation Monday is everybody's big hour-long cup of coffee.
Yeah.
We're stimulating it with the front day of the week. We want this energy to carry through the week, and at least get you through Sunday, so that when you come back here, fill up again. Next Monday you fill up with another cup. You know what I mean? So every cup should take your ass through the week. It's just like that. All right. So one more positively funny thing to me, we got to shout out. First of all, rest in peace to Paul Silas.
Yes, sir. I saw that.
Paul Silas, legendary to the NBA. Three-time NBA champion.
I think something like that.
Three-time
Three
NBA
times.
champion, two-time All-Star, I think. But legendary. Michael Jordan spoke on him today and said he was just incredible. There's so many moving components when it comes to these major sports. And Paul Silas, look him up, Silas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Paul Silas, huge part of the NBA. So we lost him. Rest in peace, my brother. Condolences to the family. On a more positive note, Brittany Griner is home.
Yes.
Brittany Griner
is home.
Is home. Now, funniest shit I said in the barbershop the day she came home. I said, everybody happy, Brittany Griner home. It's all good to that dude that we had to trade for, blow some shit up, right? We had to give up this arms dealer. Somebody had a meme said, this is the first time we traded a center for an arms dealer. I thought that shit was hilarious, man. So I said, yeah, the shit's all good. Everybody's like, Brittany's home. Boom.
Uh-oh.
I think we fucked up. No, but I'm really happy that she's home. Yeah. And here's my thing. What I learned from that is the message to give to these, especially females, because females have a tendency of being very catty when they want to, and very at emotional war with each other, attitude war with each other, when they should be uplifting each other and helping each other out. Keep that same energy that y'all manufactured up, mustered up to get, free Brittany Griner, get a home, because the energy was amazing. I'm not saying that the energy wasn't amazing. I love the energy. I'm saying it because I loved it. But keep that same energy towards your other fellow sisters out there that are right there next to you, down the block, in the workplace, at the game, you know what I mean? At the restaurant, wherever she is. Keep that same energy like you would, if you knew her or she was a big name like Brittany Griner. We need this across the board. Energy is everything. I say it all the time. Energy is everything. I know it sounds so
cliche,
but not only cliche, but cloudish. Because it's one of those things you can't hold. It's this. All those things that are this, you could tell people a million times, like beating a dead horse. If it's this though, people will take. If I go boom, they go, and they could do this. They go, because it's a thing. But if it's a thing like out, you know what I mean? Energy, universe, spirituality and shit like that. Oh, you know what? My gut, my notion. But if it ain't tangible, I can't hold it. A lot of people do like this with whatever. You know what I mean? You speaking in spirit, speaking in ghosts. Motherfuckers can't hold on to it. But trust me and believe, and I know people know in their hearts that it's real, because I know we've all been in a little instance or predicament where we felt it and we understood it in that moment in time. I told you earlier, there was two things I heard this weekend that stuck with me. Kevin Costner, the show I tell y'all I love, Kevin Costner says, it's this quiet part where they're sitting under the tree and he talks about perfection. Because you got a lot of people always striving for whatever their version of perfection is. And he's like, my whole life, I've come to think that perfection is a thing that comes in instances and moments. Like, it's not a straight ongoing thing. There's these moments that happen or instances where in that moment it's perfect. You know what? You wouldn't want to do anything else with this moment. Everything's perfect right now here in this moment where I'm at in this space. Mm-hmm. And then it goes away. And then you get back to the imperfect world to strive to find another perfect moment. So perfect are these moments and instances, you know what I mean, that comes in these compartments and places, instead of it just being like, life's not going to be blanket perfect, because that would leave no room for striving.
Yes.
I thought that was one of the deepest things. I'm like, you know what? That should make a fucking lot of sense.
A lot of sense. Wow.
Like those moments that we sit back and we in Jamaica at the resort with our feet up and the music in the butt. And like, yo, it's the life, baby. And you're only there for 4 days. But for them 4 days, it's perfect.
Yeah. You know it's so beautiful about that, T. I think that in theory, and again, this, ties into this time of year, ties into what we're saying about the holidays. That's what perfection is. Finding, like you said, those moments, those things that for you, and again, this is why I say it's so important that we really understand ourselves, that for you are, you can't quantify them. You can't put them on a scale, because a moment that might be perfect for you, for somebody else might be passe. That wasn't all that. But we got to stop doing that. We have to do a better job of understanding that each and every one of us have our own versions of what perfection looks like. Each and every one of us have our own versions of what greatness looks like, happiness, and all these other nefarious things that technically are in-house jobs. I know so many of y'all want to believe that getting the new car is going to make you happy. Getting that new home is going to make you happy. Your significant other, good, bad, and indifferent, showing you this, that, that's not really what's going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy is you learning how to be happy, whatever that looks like for you. And you got to stop letting other people tell you that because it doesn't reach their standard of what happiness is, or what their standard of what dope is, that it messes you up some kind of weird way. Right. You got to truly understand that whatever makes you happy, that's what it is. And it could be something simple or it could be something extravagant. Either way, that's your version of happiness. That's your version of greatness. That's your version of being in the zone. That's your version of perfection. So please don't allow others to supposedly tell you what your version of perfection is.
That's Amir with a second jewel. That's another jewel. Look at this motherfucking prophecy. Crazy. Anyway, that was perfect, Amir. Sorry, guys, kept you a couple minutes over. But we came in a couple of minutes young, so we covered everything. Again, rest in peace to the great Paul Silas. Congratulations and welcome home to Brittany Griner. Get well soon to Al Roker. Listen, man, everybody out there, again, we can't thank you guys enough for giving us an hour of your time every Monday. Don't think we don't appreciate this ever. You motivate us.
Yes.
To motivate you. Without you, there is no us. That's why we're here every week. God bless everybody. Be safe until next Monday. Amir, I'll talk to you off air, but until next Monday, everybody, you know what to do. Guard your grill, knuckle up. We love you and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Facts.
It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with a taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up, you understand? Because Monday is when you go everything else in life. still, we